sweeties. This is Shaniqua with Neat Techniques. And my hubby, we're doing a Pappas barbecue mukbang. And so, let me tell you what we have today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it around. So I'm sorry. So you can see.
Kind of a rib plate.
Yes, it's a trio rib plate.
I think it was what, spare rib, baby back rib, and some other type of rib.
Yes.
And then you got what, yams, and you got mac and cheese.
You know what we should have done?
What?
I needed a plate.
Oh, you want me to get you a plate?
Yeah, can you?
Okay, well let me show you mine real quick. And then I just got your standard baked potato with brisket and cheese and stuff. So I kind of went a little more basic than Neat. So.
And I forgot. So I got two sides, which is mac and cheese.
Baby, you talking real loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which is mac and cheese. And yams. Thank you, honey. So that way they could actually see it.
Am I gonna be able to get a rib? You know,
I wasn't planning on it.
Well, Adam gave Eve a rib.
Well, you're not Adam.
Wasn't I supposed to get sour cream and stuff?
Yep, and they didn't give it to you.
I ain't that about a biscuit.
Well, we have sour cream.
Yeah, I got some sour
Don't be
cream.
so bougie.
Boy, I'm having to provide silverware and plates and all kinds of crap for this. What the heck? Guess I'll bring some extra cheese in case I need it. Some government cheese.
All right, you guys. So, I can show you on a plate, which looks much better. My husband should have put it on a plate.
Oh, I'm sorry I did not plate your food for you.
And we have some barbecue.
Yeah, that's pretty critical.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. And they didn't give you extra. They gave you a little bitty skimpy barbecue. But however, let's go ahead and break this in.
So, how was your week, Neeks?
Well, it wasn't so bad. It was good. It was a good week.
Oh, I finally got set up for that Moderna shot next week. You're in the medical field, so you had yours for a while, but it took me a while to get one.
That second dose is a doozy.
Oh, that's a mother?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, snap.
It takes all the out of you. It really does. What you think?
Well, I need the little bit of oomph I've got in me. Sure, I can't give none. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't had any of the meat yet. Have you noticed every vlog we just chowing down?
So this is what we would like for you guys to give us some input on exactly what you would like to see from us.
We were talking about going to a casino. Ooh, in Oklahoma. So that's a possibility. I told Neeks we could go to the zoo, but she thought that was kind of lame.
You guys don't want to see animals.
Oh, I have a story about
Although
the zoo.
we
I have
could
a
take
story
our,
about the zoo.
although we could take the grandkids, but
do they want to see that?
we'll be running around and.
But I have a story about a zoo.
What about?
So, I was like in the 8th grade, and they asked for volunteers to take the elementary school kids to the zoo. So, one way or another, I volunteered.
That is good.
So, we go to the zoo with the little kids, and they're, looking at the giraffes and the this and that. We get to the elephants. How come Daddy Elephant is on the backside of Mama Elephant doing it? And I got all of these elementary school kids asking me what they're doing. And so I'm just having to say, oh, they're just playing with each other. Yeah, Papa was giving her the business. It was super embarrassing, man. Yeah, I'm trying to teach the elementary school kids about the birds and the bees and the elephants and the monkeys. I don't know.
You're a mess. So we didn't tell them what we were drinking.
Sprite and Diet Coke. Because I'm trying to keep that girlish figure. Man, they didn't just crush it with the meat on this. Like, I almost picture like there's like a ton of chopped beef, and this is almost like big chunks of brisket.
This is good.
Well,
The food could have been a little bit colder.
a little colder.
I mean, cold. I mean,
What are you talking about? You prefer barbecue to be cold?
I mean,
You got me confused. Nate.
warmer.
Well, we did have to stop off someplace before we got home.
Yeah, 'cause
so,
it's not hot.
well, that's what they make a microwave for, Neeks. Oh, I have a story about a microwave. So I'm old, right? I'm about to be 50 in July. So I remember my mom bought the first microwave in I guess that was the early 80s. So she's reading through the instructions and it says that it'll cook an egg. So we're looking at each other like, wow, this thing will cook an egg. So we took the entire egg in the shell, put it in the microwave, push start, and it starts cooking, and all of a sudden, boom, it blew up. We look at each other like, this thing is dangerous. That thing just blew up.
But the thing is, you can cook an egg in the microwave.
Yeah, but you don't leave the shell on.
But a lot of people don't do that.
Hey, can Daddy have a little bit of a rib?
Huh?
Oh. Prank caller? The heck?
I said I wasn't going to eat all of this, but no. Here you go.
Oh. Oh, baby rib. Thank you. Oh, was that the good stuff?
Wait a minute.
Don't give me the good stuff now. Thank you. What the heck? I ain't got no meat on it.
I'm a little stingy.
Yeah, a little bit, Neeks. Oh, so super happy and super appreciative about the fact that Neeks did finally, after like 10 months, she got monetized.
All thanks to us. We did it.
Yes, to all of her subscribers.
We did it.
Because it was a lot of hard work. And you got to imagine, if you work a full-time job trying to, constantly put out, 2 videos a week or whatever we do, it's not always the easiest, but it is fun. And I've enjoyed, going through this journey with her.
It's all fat meat here. That's kind of disappointing.
I can relate to that.
How can you relate to that?
I got some fat meat on me.
I mean, it's sort of like a waste. But we're going to work with it.
That's all you can do. Got to work with what you got.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh. But what else is going on, Neeks?
We're going to talk about a few topics.
Oh, snap. Oh, but it's not controversial.
Yeah, we have to be really careful with that.
Because you know I can be opinionated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what are we talking about?
So what would you think about... I have to be careful about what I'm speaking on when it comes to COVID, but...
I'll say anything.
Actually, you mentioned in the car today when we were driving, if it was, you said something about a booster shot? Did you tell me that?
Well, I'm sure pretty much everybody's aware that there's COVID variants. There's one from the UK. There's one, I think, from like South Africa. There's different ones. And the vaccines will help you protect from COVID, but as far as the variants, it's not as efficient to protect you from the variants. So they're working, supposedly some companies are working on developing a booster that would help with the variants.
And so next question I had for you. Those of you who are working from home, is that something that
that's
you...
me?
Right. Do you feel like you're ready to go back to work? Do you feel like, but you want to stay at home?
Well, okay. This is what I found is when I was driving to work every day, I was driving about an hour plus to work and an hour plus back 5 days a week. So I've actually found I'm gaining 2 hours a day, I'm gaining 10 hours a week just by not having to commute. So I get off work and I'm immediately in our living room, you know? I can sleep later. I technically could be working out in the morning, but we hadn't figured that out yet because I'm not really a morning person. But I guess just all around the fact that I don't have to commute and get on multiple highways every day makes a huge difference to me, you know? Also, if we get packages in, I'm always here to get them. If there's, something going on in the apartment, I'm here for that.
Right, that's true.
And so, I don't know, I guess it's made a big difference to me. Excuse me, but I know there are a lot of people that want to interact with their coworkers again and get back to the office.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. And I couldn't work from home because I'm a people's person. So to interact with others is something that I love to do. So staying at home is not an option for me.
Every time I gotta go to the restroom, it's literally just 5 steps away. If I'm going to eat lunch, I can just go into my own kitchen. I don't have to eat out.
But you would get tired of that. Not him, but for me.
It's been a year. I'm still going strong.
But for me, I would get tired of seeing these 4 walls. You know what I mean? Or however many walls you're looking at. I would get tired of doing that. So it wouldn't be good for me.
I mean, I'm not going to find myself talking to a volleyball or something eventually. I mean, Wilson! But I don't know. It works out well for me. You know what I mean? We have a little office area set up in the bedroom, and it works well for me. I don't, like I said, if I need to interact with a coworker, we have instant messaging. I can just Skype them. So I don't really feel like I miss anything.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about relationships.
Oh, snap.
Because there's a lot of couples out there who struggle. I mean, they argue over money, finance, and children from different marriages.
Yeah.
That's difficult. We struggle with that.
Okay. So where are you getting to?
What do you feel about that? You want to talk about how we struggled with our children?
Maybe then we're gonna start like.
Or relationship, how we get along. How it works. Let's put it that way.
Well, I mean, I think this being both of our second marriage, I think we both had a better idea of what we were looking for in a relationship. And at least for me, I'm the type of person, I don't want a lot of drama. And I know most people don't, but I don't want to get into a heated argument about where we're going to go to dinner or, what we're going to do this weekend. I will pretty much go along with whatever you want. I mean, I'm not going to take a hard line of stance on every little thing.
Now, you don't go with everything that I want.
No, important stuff, I think you should take a stand, right? Because it's, where we live or what type of cars we have. The big things, you should take a stand. But, dude, what movie we're going to see or where we're going out to dinner, I could care less.
That's irrelevant, yes. But a lot of people...
I mean, brother likes to eat. It doesn't matter,
Brother.
Oh.
I don't know where he got the notion that he's a brother, but however, I'll let you pass this time.
Oh, thank you.
But it can be hard.
That's what she said. I love The Office.
I mean, it can be hard. I mean, have struggled.
But every couple does.
But we pulled it together. But Stephen and myself, it's just the two of us. And for the most part, we get along very well. I always say he's my yin to my yang. But there's a lot of couples who struggle with finance.
Yeah, I struggle with finance, but I also think, at least for us, and this works personally for us, I don't know this would work for other people. I am of the belief that when she makes money, it's our money. When I make money, it's our money. There's not a, hey, I made this, I get to keep this. It almost seems like some couples, there's two separate teams. You know what I mean? To me, everything is, we're pulling together for everything.
Right.
So I think that prevents a lot of arguments, just because it's not like, I got this bonus, it's mine. You got this bonus, that's yours. We might, get a little something, for ourselves, but there's not that constant struggle when it comes to money and paying bills and stuff like that. I mean,
but there are couples that actually have separate accounts.
Oh, of course.
And you don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, I don't think it would work for us. Ooh, good Lord. Ooh, ribs are back. Yeah, some start backing up on me there. But I don't think it would work for us. And there's some couples that could work really well for,
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not used to being in that type of household where I've got to constantly, mine, yours, and then community money. It's almost like, ooh, goodness. Too much to keep track of, And there's too much potential conflict there. I guess just some of the other things is just, I think that you have to be able to, in a relationship, see past just yourself. It's not just about your happiness. It's not just about your dreams. It's not just about your desires. You should generally want for your other partner as much as yourself.
I agree.
And if you don't, then I think it's a problem. If you're constantly worried about the car you have or the things that you want, and you're not spending time and effort on what the other person wants, that's a problem.
Yeah, but I do know couples who have separate accounts, and
I'm not saying that's wrong,
but that can be a good thing, and let me tell you why. As a woman, you have to have something in an account for a just in case situation, because you never know when a man will leave.
You can't trust these men.
No, you can't. Or women. So let me not, because I don't want anybody saying, what do you mean? Because there are women that are scandalous. But as a woman, you need to have something where just in case he does decide to leave. Now, whether for him not to know it or not, in a situation where he's doing something like verbally abusing you or abusing you, period, for that matter, then yes, he doesn't need to know that. In order for you to get away, then yes, you need to have something where he doesn't know about it. So if he decides to do something or try to harm you in any way, you'll have money to pick up and leave with you and your children's, or for yourself. And I'm telling you on hand, I had to learn a lot. I've learned a lot from my first marriage, and it wasn't verbally abusive or anything like that. But when he did leave, I had nothing. I had 2 children, and one of the things that I did, and I'm very proud of myself, is that I remember my mom next to me, and I was just boo-hooing because I didn't know what to do. Now, I had 2 years of college, but I was a housewife, and, so I was taking care of the kids. And let me tell you something, as being a housewife, once again, whatever money that you get, you need to put back. Because if you're a housewife, and once again he decides to leave, you'll be stuck. And you do not want to be in that predicament. I've been there, done that, and I would not do it again. I will not. Now, if you want to be a housewife, by all means, you know,
There's nothing wrong
that's
with
your
that.
prerogative, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, just in case. And so I'm going to go back to this story. So I was very distraught. I was hurt. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I remember having the newspaper open where tears was just dropping. And you can hear the tears as it hit the newspaper.
Dang.
And I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And my mom looked at me because my mom always used to say to me, don't depend on a man, you know, be prepared if he leaves. And I didn't listen. I was like, oh, he loves me. He would never do me this way. But it happened, right? And so I looked at my mom and she told me she said, hold your head up, stop crying, and you have to keep it moving. You have to go forward. This is the only way to go. So I looked up and I saw, you know, CDI. No, it wasn't CDI. It was...
ATI? Or?
No, it was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was for a trade school. And I was going to be a medical assistant. And I'm sorry.
Ooh.
And that, when I looked at that, I was going to school. I was working, taking care of my 2 kids, and my mom help. And it was very hard to do. And as I remember, I want to say it was close to a year that I had to finish. But I did it. I did it. And let me tell you, after I done that, I then looked for a home for me and my children. For first-time buyers, was perfect for me. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And, of course, I had 2 boys. But, you know, it was a start. It was a starter home. And once I did that, everything else fell in place. I then bought me a new vehicle. And I know when I met my husband, he was like, you know, I always had money to where I had my money orders. I made sure all my bills was paid with money orders.
Take over?
Yeah, I'll let you take over once I get down. But anyhow, because there's a story behind the money orders. So once I had the money orders, I would, you know, and all my bills were paid, I know what I had in the account. But for me, it was like the accomplishment that I had made was huge for me because I did it. No one else did it. I did it. I made it happen for my children. It was a nice home, small home, and well decorated because I love decorating. I do. I think I do a good job. You think I do a good job?
Yeah, very good.
I love to have a home that I can walk in, you know, and say, hey, I did this and I created this, and it's warm and cozy and that warm and fuzzy type of feeling. So I just want women to know, take this from me. I have learned over the years of being in relationship with men that it can go south. You have to be prepared for that. And if you take anything from me, put money back. I don't care if, hey, you have some spending money of $30, right? Take that 20 and put it back. Stash it. Whether he know it or not. And I know.
That's what
I know that, you know, you're hiding from your husband and all it is, but you better.
Okay, I'm going to pick up from here, and that's a very good sentiment as far as a single woman pulling herself up and you know.
But wait a minute, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it at this. I was a single mom for a very long time, and I made bad decisions, far as men, And it's not like I had a lot. God, I make it seem like I had a bunch of men, but that's not true. The men, the men that I did have, which was not a lot, I made poor decisions, and I brought them around my children. You have to be careful with that, because the men that you bring around your children will look at that, and then they would think that that would be a good thing, and especially if it's a bad situation. And when I met my husband, he then showed my children how a man should treat their wives. So on that note, I know what he's going to bring up.
Yes, and I will say this: when I first met her, I was so impressed. I mean, she had her own house, she had her own, nice minivan, and the house was fully furnished. It was a really nice backyard. And I went through some tough things in my life where I ended up moving in with her, kind of unexpectedly, and again I was so impressed and but when I moved in, there was just some things that I was like, wait a minute. So the first thing she said was like the money orders. Like she had this book. And she would pay everything with money orders.
I had a book
every month.
Everything notated, everything.
So I was like, okay, wait a minute. There's this thing that's called online bill pay. Let's show you how that works. So got rid of the money orders. The next thing was I noticed she had this nice, back in the day, like a big screen TV. And I'm like, this mug has rabbit ears. Like we got ABC and CBS and PBS, but we got rabbit ears on this mug. So I was like, okay, we got to get some form of cable up in here, because I can't have this big giant TV and no channels on it. Then the next thing was I looked at the computer. This computer, my dad was in computers back in the 80s. This looked like one of those. Like, it was so old. And I was like, this is what y'all got for a computer setup? I think Bill Gates is looking for his original model back, like, from his garage. And so, anyway, so, and then I also always joke that when I first got there, I didn't have much money. I was just starting a new job, and all I had was Campbell's soup. Like for the first couple weeks, I swear to God, I ate more soup than I ever ate in my life. And I was like, dang, like we need to stock some groceries in this mug. But I just joke about those things because, again, I was so impressed that she had done everything on her own and she was a self-made woman. But, I just... Oh, goodness, again?
We had food. Now, baby, don't make it seem like we didn't have
food. Well, we didn't have food because your best friend stole the pork chop.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, don't launch into that, but that's an inside joke. But I just kind of joke about those.
She actually did.
But I just kind of joke about those things because to this day, I pay all the bills, online bill pay. We got super fast internet. And then I purposely keep her in... she got a really nice phone, a nice tablet. We got a touchscreen laptop. Like, I'm making sure that we're pretty decked out on technology and stuff.
Now, I will say this. There's nothing wrong with government assistance. Nothing wrong with that. But I will say I never did have any of that. I did pretty good. And sometimes... you didn't have that. I never did ask anything from anyone. I did it all. And was it easy? No, it was not easy at all. Because like I said, when it came down to Christmas.
Oh, Neeks doesn't really like Christmas.
I'm not a Christmassy person.
And boy, I am. I mean, I look like Santa, for goodness sakes. I love Christmas.
He loved Christmas, but I'm not a Christmassy person. But I will say this. When it came down to Christmas, my kids never did expect a lot. They never did ask for a lot. But I always got them something, big, like Xbox or, they had presents, but it wasn't a lot. But they understood that because they knew that mom was a single mom. And when your children get to a point where they understand that, that is a good thing because you're only one person. There's not two incomes. There's only one income, and you do the best you can. I never did where we lived. It was